here talking to Guillermo del Toro.
And I am Benicio del Toro.
Oh!
I've been retaining water.
Classic. You guys get mixed up all the time.
Well, only in the name.
Yeah.
Trust me. I was one in the Cannes Film Festival, and like at 3 a.m. I get a phone call, and 3 chicks go, "We're on our way, Benicio." I said, "You shouldn't go. You will be sorely disappointed."
The real trick is who has both you and Benicio's phone number. It's mixing them up.
No, the room. In the room.
The
Same
room.
hotel.
Right, of course. That's really funny.
So let's kick it off and talk about Pacific Rim.
By all means. Well, Pac Rim was a project that we started about 2 years ago, and longer than that. And I started first as a producer because I was involved in Mountains of Madness, and I was designing everything for the movie for Legendary, and we were designing a presentation for Warner's, and I was designing the robots, the suits, the environment, and with every passing day I grew more jealous of who was going to inherit all of this.
Yeah.
But I was true to my calling, and I stayed with Mountains, and then Mountains, as everybody knows, faltered. And we heard about it. I was scouting on the glaciers in Alaska, and I get a phone call, and they say, "You got to come and meet at the studio." And I got a pang and then Legendary said they had been waiting patiently. They said, "Would you direct it if Mountains doesn't go?" And I said, "I would." And when Mountains collapsed on Friday, Monday I was already on board directing.
That's right, and you were just like, perfect. Exactly.
You know, it's like I didn't want to give myself time to think.
Yeah.
I said, I love it. I felt passionate about the material. I didn't want to say, well, if I'll wait 6 months more. I had already been almost a year, and I've been pursuing Mountains for 13 years.
Wow.
So I thought, it'll happen, but right now I need to direct. It's been 3 years since I directed. I've been producing, writing, but I needed to go.
Got to get behind the camera. You want to give us the elevator pitch of the movie?
Well, the giant monsters, giant robots.
Say no more.
The 25-story high.
Yeah.
Kaijus would start coming through a portal in the Pacific Ocean, and we start using normal weapons, but the kaijus are not a vector attacker. They're not a projectile you can intercept. They are thinking.
Yeah.
They are so they change direction. They change their mind. They get angrier. They want to eat. They want to poop.
Yeah.
They want to do everything that a good kaiju does. And so they have to come up with a weapon that can literally grapple and change the fight as the kaiju changes the fight. So using jet fighter pilot communication systems like DARPA, where the neural system of the pilot is linked to the jet, and using robotics, remote robotics like you have in a surgery with robotic arms or an assembly plant. They say, let's create these things that are going to be nuclear powered, and they're going to be able to grapple. And they are weaponized. They have melee weapons. They have swords. They have plasma cannon, this and that. And it really is
exciting.
This is what I was drawing when I was like 12 years old. Notebook paper.
This is like
Same with
the dream of a small child drawing what they would do. And what I'm amazed about is that you usually have a knack for bringing these big scale movies down to a human level. And so how do you approach something like this? Because you've got big giant robots fighting big giant monsters. How do you still make it human?
We do the same thing. We do. We did the same thing, and I don't want to reveal exactly how, but I think that this doesn't mean that each character is going to have a Madame Bovary size story, but they have really beautiful little stories, little dramas between them, and then. That plays inside the robot. The pilots are in the head of the robot. It's two pilots. One pilot controls the right hemisphere, the other pilot controls the left hemisphere. And they are linked through a neural bridge that joins them into a single person.
Oh, cool.
Because the neural load of handling a body 25 stories high, which I know.
Yeah.
And 25 stories wide.
Yeah.
But the taxation is too big for one pilot, so they use two. And there are certain moments in which you make a decision early on, and I did it in this one where I said, we need to feel the combat in the pilots. We need to really make it brutal and make the kaiju be brutal with the Jaeger, the robot, and the Jaeger be brutal with the kaiju.
Right.
And in the meantime, be brutal with the landscape.
Yeah.
Destroy the city by all means, you know. And so you have the biggest arena of fighting I think ever seen in a production like this.
Well, the big announcement here at Comic-Con was that you're overseeing the comic
Yeah.
version of this. Now, I understand it's going to be a prequel type story.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
It comes out through Legendary Comics. It comes out a month before the movie, and what we're doing is we are setting the playground for the film. It's a prequel, so to speak.
Oh, cool.
I didn't want to do an adaptation because adaptations normally suck. The only great movie adaptation I can remember is Mignola's adaptation of Coppola's Dracula, which was the moment where his Hellboy style was birthed.
Right.
That and Gotham by Gaslight, you know.
Yeah.
But I think what is great about this is we are doing a very modest transmedia experience. We're trying to amplify the world and show other aspects of it. And I have had an amazing experience working with Dark Horse, Mike Huddleston, and David Lapham in adapting The Strain to the comics. And every single aspect of the comic goes through me. Screenplay, script, pencils, inks, lettering, color coding, cover.
Wow.
I approve everything on those comics.
That's great.
Every single thing. And I'm planning to do the same.
So,
with Pac-Man.
if an intern's got to get coffee, you got to okay it first,
Yeah.
right?
I don't drink coffee.
All right.
Except when I'm shooting.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you're like just buzzing.
Yeah, I go in, 12 cups a day.
And you don't drink coffee any other time?
Yeah, after that,
So after movies wrap, you just wake up out of a blind panic, like, what did I just do?
then I look for the Twinkies in the drawer.
Wow, what a process you have.
It's strange.
So the comic's going to be introduce the characters, or is it just a total prequel? Sort of establishing the world?
we are doing both. I mean, when we were generating Pacific Rim, I made a decision to make it a very earnest, beautiful adventure film, something that takes place in a world that is down, is the last days of battle, Pacific Rim. And we come in like at the end of World War II. Wow. There's a volunteer war, rationing, there's no food, and everybody there is doing it because they want to do it. I wanted a movie that if I was 12 years old, I would love to think I could be a Jaeger pilot.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like when I was a kid and I dreamt of being an astronaut or a cowboy, or I really wanted to be aspirational and romantic and beautiful, not cold and cool and super designy, but make it really textural and visceral. And part of that was designing the world, and we spent months and months and months designing a Bible. With all the codes of the robots, where they fuel, what the signage is, where the ports are, what happens. And amongst those things, we designed biographies for the characters and a timeline. Day one, year one of the war, all the way to the ending of the movie. So we had a document that was so rich that it can feed the comics.
So it was already decided way ahead of the game.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, one of the things, we're here at Comic-Con, so we've got to ask about this. I know there's probably not much of an update, but Hulk TV series, where are we at with things these days?
You know, the last conversation I had with Jeff Loeb was about good 8 months ago, maybe 6 months ago, and they said we're waiting for this this TV writer. I don't know if that has changed after Avengers, but as far as I know, it's in holding pattern. I don't know anything else. I haven't heard back. We delivered the screenplay. We're waiting on this writer. That's what I can say.
Well, what is it about Hulk specifically? I mean, that really attracts you to that character? Because I mean, this is something that I'm sure you.
All the superheroes I love are monsters. Hellboy, Demon, Swamp Thing, Hulk, Morbius.
Makes sense.
I never was a guy that followed. Like the closest I come, I loved Spider-Man as a kid, and Batman and Superman, but my obsession was with the monsters. Like, or at best, the weird, like Mr. Miracle, or the New Gods. Darkseid. I mean, I really need a fantastic component. Kamandi. It needs to have something weird to an extreme for me to be interested. And Hulk, what I love about the idea of Hulk in its many incarnations, the idea of dual personality that knows or doesn't know about the other. I cannot reveal much, but I was very attracted to the question with me with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is always who has a better time, Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde?
Yeah.
And that was a question I had. So the approach we took was interesting, and I hope it happens. But I don't control the property.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really exciting. You want to talk about The Strain at all?
Yeah,
and
for sure.
What's the progress with that? Where are you at with it?
That is all good news.
Oh, great!
Like very definite. We were taken by FX, and they put a pilot order, which means they are not developing. I'm not going like, well, we finished. We're shooting next year.
Awesome.
End of story. That is going to happen next year. We're going to shoot the pilot, and I love the idea. I love a long form series.
Yeah.
I'm right now I'm desperate for Breaking Bad, the final season.
Oh, I know, right?
Yes, I'm very happy following Hell on Wheels, and
yes.
I really think cable TV has become an almost literary medium.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to create a playground where I can go in and shoot 20 hours.
Yeah.
Rather than waiting to shoot one feature every 2 years.
Right.
I can go in and play with
it's
characters.
It's like 10 features.
It is, and we are given a really, really good budget, really great support creatively, and we talked from the beginning, we're going to do the arc of the series, and that's it.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, it's so much exciting stuff going on.
Thank you.
Good luck with all of it. And you guys stay tuned for plenty more from Comic-Con.